I think it's that they come in with fixed ideas from their past of how a relationship should or shouldn't be, and then they try to have it match up with what's actually happening. And so if I come in with my fixed ideas and I'm in a relationship with someone who's also coming in with their fixed ideas about how it should and shouldn't be, well, now we've got a problem because the relationship isn't matching my picture.
Oh, a big one that people deal with is keeping that love alive in their relationships, because it gets real ordinary real fast. And then people's relationships just becomes about, did you pay the bill or did you feed the dog? So it's, how to keep that love and that romance and that passion for, 20, 30, 40, or even after a year of marriage, how to keep that love alive.
People come into the forum and in that 3-day experience, they're able to move beyond what's actually been in the space of them and people. So if that's any resentments, stuff that went down from years ago that just never got resolved, that's the distance that is between people.
Yeah, what it is to create a relationship is really, really simple. Okay. People do actually get what create means, they just don't practice creating it. So if you're going to create a painting, people can get, oh, yeah, I'm going to get some paints, I'm going to get this blank canvas and actually start creating a painting. Or if you say, go and build a house, people get that. Okay, yeah, of course, I got to clear the land, then, come up with a design and then build a house on that piece of land. Now, it's the same with relationships too. And what's required to create a relationship is going to be speaking, being able to sit together and being able to communicate, speak and listen and create together in language. So it's really easy once you get the tools to do that.
With my parents, my mother is now dealing with the first stages of dementia. I'm creating my relationship with her now. Not from anything's wrong, not from any past we've had. And I'm 61. She's been my mother for 61 years. We've had different iterations of our relationship since I did the forum 19 years ago. And now this new one is being created now. And, I don't know how that relationship would be without my having done the forum. Because the ability to be with my mother and create in every conversation who she is for me, the most amazing gift. It just moves me, to be able to have the power to have that kind of relationship ongoingly with my mother.
Most people see relationships differently. They got two different views about the same thing, but they don't get it as a view. They think it is the truth. So they fight for the truth of it and they miss that it's just a view. So in the form, when they actually get it as a view, they get there's another possible view to have. They're not stuck with it like it's in cement.
That's really great. So a common myth that people have about relationships is that they're going to solve anything. Like getting married or being in a relationship is going to solve something. Well, it'll be like, if we get married, then it's going to solve an answer to why our relationship's not working. Or if we'll have children, that's going to have our relationship be great. It's going to solve something like make a difference in the way they communicate or make a difference in the way they listen or make a difference in that love and passion being there. If we take it to the next level, I don't even know what that means, but we need to take our relationship somewhere, like it's going anywhere.
The myth is that a relationship has to be a certain way for it to be great. So there's no room to create a relationship because I have a myth that men have a role, women have a role. Or if you're in a relationship with someone of the same sex, that someone else has got to have a role. Well, I like you to consider, and I'm laughing because that is really a myth. Because 50-50 relationships always fail. Why? Because that 50% will never be what you think it should be. Try this as a possibility, kind of an odd possibility. Is you give 100%, expect zero, you won't be upset.
common myth about relationships is that the other person should be a certain way, that the other person needs to be a certain way. That's a common myth. People forget that they get to create the relationships. They get to actually create how the other person shows up. That's totally comes from a place of what we call being 100% responsible and 100% creation. You got to sit down and actually get together and create. What is it that you are going to come together in this relationship and really create? You being together in that relationship, what are you going to be up to? What are you really going to be up to? You got a partner now. So what are you going to be up to? And people don't create it together, and they just go along with things and not really create.
Oh, that's a good question. See, the forum works for people when they find themselves like their relationship at a breaking point. You mean like end it or stick with it? But whether they end it or not, it's not working. And whatever's not working about it will go into another relationship because it's all from the past. Because people don't start their relationships hating each other. Hey, how many people do you know walk down the aisle hating each other? Not too many people, right? And something happens in that relationship that doesn't get complete, that gets carried forward in the future. So then we might just be having an ordinary conversation, but that thing from the past wasn't complete. So it's right there in the space of that relationship. There's something sitting right in between, like say you and I, so we're not fully able to be with each other or communicate powerfully with each other. And that moment in the forum gets whatever that is that's right at the breaking point, it gets it complete. So there's nothing there between us anymore. And you can say whatever you say, but I don't hear it from whatever happened from the past. I can hear it from what you're saying.
Well, the first thing you start to get is what led to the breaking point. See, if you don't go back and deal with what actually led to it, you think the breaking point, this is how it's turned out. No, that is the conclusion or the result of what never got dealt with. And oftentimes, getting what hasn't been dealt with disappears the breaking point.
Okay, I started in the forum obviously when I got the racket. Those of you who haven't obviously done the forum, it's something that I've been complaining about, mainly when it comes to my family members, especially my mom and my dad, that they don't care, they don't understand what I'm up to. And I really got that that's all living here with me, with what's going on in my listening. So the moment I got that, the whole relationship transformed there with my mom, with my dad, then with my brothers, right? And then after that, once I got the tools to actually see what's actually existing over here with me, not necessarily over there with them, over here with me, about them, about relationships, who I'm interacting with. And that's not true. What's existing with me is what I made up or what I've landed on. And when I really got it's not true, again, that created the opportunity for me to ask questions, make requests and say what I want, what I don't want. So it started to impact my relationships with my work colleagues, with my bosses, with the clients I was interacting with, and just even strangers, because I could just speak to them like there was nothing there with me about them.
We deal with a wide range of relationships, like mother to son, man, woman, same sex, non-traditional, all kinds of relationships. How to have a conversation that makes a difference with them, or how to have a conversation to clean up your mistakes, or get rid of your resentments toward another, or your regrets, things you've done with not only your children, but also your sisters and your families and, all kinds of relationships. It deals with relationships with everybody, between everybody.